Hey, this is Beth at BethJones.net, and this is my marriage video series. And today's video is on communication. Communication can be so powerful, and the words of life and death are in the tongue, and it's an area where many couples struggle. And I'm doing this video series right now because I just wrote my book, Stained Glass in Marriage: Reflections of Light and Hope by an Imperfect Wife. And so I thought I would do a video series on different aspects of marriage here at my Facebook page. And I hope that it's blessing and encouraging you and that you're gleaning some little gems from it. I have been married to Ray for 23 years. It's been a really hard marriage, but we've learned some things along the way. And despite all the problems, despite all the arguments and all the hardships in our life, God has kept us together, and it is for His glory, because it's not about us, it's about God. And too much is at stake, and we believe that it is a lasting covenant with God and each other. So we're sticking it out. We've had a lot of people tell us you should just go ahead and get a divorce. Counselors have told us that, pastors, extended family, so-called friends, but we are still together because we believe that God has a purpose and calling on our lives, and that we need to keep our covenant to God and each other. I want to talk today about communication. It is one of the hardest areas, I believe, for most couples. For me and Ray, we can be talking 5 minutes, and within 5 minutes, we are arguing, we are fighting. And it's hard. Now, why is this? Well, there's very different reasons for this. And Ray and I went to a marriage retreat in January of this year by Roger and Lorraine Traver. And if you don't know about them, go to Mountaintop Marriages, check out their website, and I strongly encourage you to go to one of their marriage retreats. Ray and I have gone to 2, and we want to go to more. But they talk a lot about communication in their retreat, in their seminars. One of the reasons communication is so hard is that men or women are different. They are biologically different. God made man and woman different. And so your communication styles as a man and as a woman are going to be different. Generally, women talk more. They have more words per day. Now, that's not always true. I know when Ray sees someone that he hasn't seen in a while, like at the store, at the, someplace in town, he'll talk forever to them. So it's not always true that the woman talks the most. But generally speaking, women per day have more words. The second reason is that you have different personality types. Now, Ray is very much a phlegmatic, melancholy personality types, and there's 4 types of personalities. If you don't know about them, go to Class Communications and you'll learn more about that. He's a phlegmatic, melancholy personality, and I am a choleric melancholy, and so we have very different personalities. God made us different, wonderfully and fearfully in our mother's womb. One personality type is not different, or is not better than the other. So I'm a very take charge, get it done, success, goals-driven person. I am like a racehorse raring to get out of the starting gate. And Ray is very much a easygoing, laid-back, deliberate, slow to make decisions, slow as a turtle type of personality. So we have very different personalities, and we have very different styles of talking. I'm usually more verbose. I say whatever I think. I share my feelings, my heart. I say whatever crosses my mind. Ray is much more careful with his words and much more deliberate. So you've got that in effect. And there's just differences between people in the way they communicate. Also, the way that you were raised, the family you were raised in. Maybe your family, they laughed a lot and played games and did fun things. Or maybe you came from a family that was very serious and very slow to show feelings. So it really also depends on your background. Now, here's some tips from my book, Reflections of Light and Hope by an Imperfect Wife. And you can get this at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and the print book by CreateSpace. You can find out more about this at my website at BethJones.net. But here's some tips from this book that I include in the book. And again, Ray and I are still learning. We don't have this down pat. Like I said, a lot of times within 5-10 minutes we are fighting, but we are working every day on it. The first thing, and this is what the Travers encourage you to do in their retreat, is to really listen to your spouse. What is being said? and what is being unsaid. Look into their eyes. The eyes are the window to the soul. Look into their eyes, because the eyes will show you what they're feeling. Also, read their body language. Are they open and receiving? Are they all closed up with their arms? Do they have an attitude? Are they angry? Are they tense? Are they stressed out? Are they scared? Are they worried? Read the body language, because that's also a part of communication. Your spouse may be listening to you speak, but they've got a glazed look in their eyes, and you can tell they're just checked out mentally and they're not really listening to you. So really listen to what is said and what is not said. Excuse me. And then repeat back what they're saying to you. That way you're repeating back to them and you're communicating that you really heard what they said, because a lot of times we don't really hear. We're not really listening. So repeat back to them what they say. A lot of times we're quick to jump to conclusions or judge, and we're quick to attack our spouse, or we're quick to insert our opinions and our ideas and interrupt with a totally different train of thought, which is what I do a lot. So really listen to your spouse, and that takes work. It is a practice thing that you have to do. Number 2 is use I feel versus you should or you never or you always statements. When you say I feel, you're telling them your feelings, and feelings are not wrong. Now, what Lorene had to do, Lorene and Roger Traver at the retreat, she had to train her husband to express his feelings, because men are not always the best at sharing their feelings. They keep them private and locked up. So she trained him, excuse me, to share his feelings with her. Number 3 is don't bring up the past. Don't beat that dead horse. Don't bring up the past. The past is over. And, you know, the past doesn't matter. We need to focus on right now to do what really matters. This year I've heard of a lot of early deaths from people, so we're not promised tomorrow. And you want your spouse to feel your love. You want to encourage your spouse. You want to uplift them, especially if you're a woman, your husband is working hard at work. Every day he's under that stress and that pressure and just a lot going on in his work. And when he comes home, that needs to be his castle. That needs to be his place of refuge and peace. And I'm working on that for Ray. You know, a good hot meal, a back rub, words of encouragement and affirmation, and a lot of prayer. So you want your spouse to feel that love. You don't want to bring up the past. You don't want them using your past over your head like a whip. You want to have that forgiveness between each other. Don't bring up the past in your communication. Stick to present issues. Now, there may be things in your past excuse me, that are unhealed. If that is the case, ask Jesus to heal you. Forgive one another if forgiveness needs to be taken place, and seek marriage counseling, Christian marriage counseling, if that will help you. But don't leave the past in the past. Focus on right now and today. And I want to leave you with this scripture, Ephesians 4:29, the Message, which says this: watch the way you talk. Let nothing foul or dirty come out of your mouth. Say only what helps, each word a gift. You know, a lot of times we wouldn't talk to other people the way that we talk to our spouse. So think about that. If someone else was in the room listening, would you be talking this way to them? If Jesus was standing right in front of you, which he is, but we just don't see him, would you talk this way to your spouse? Say only what helps, each word a gift. And this is my challenge as well to myself today. So I hope these tips are encouraging you. Look for more marriage tips, and be sure to check out my book, Stained Glass and Marriage: Reflections of Light and Hope by an Imperfect Wife. You can get that at Amazon and Barnes & Noble as an ebook, and at CreateSpace as a print book. This is Beth, speaker, author, and VA, and you have a blessed and beautiful day. Bye-bye.